back around about the 1960s, if you wanted a continuous audio loop, you'd probably use something like this, an 8-track cart. And you've doubtless seen these things before. There's a reel of tape in there, and it's designed in such a way that it has slack on the tape, such that the whole spool can continuously rotate and feed the tape round via this pinch roller. And there's a join in the tape so that it will continuously loop. And so you can record something like 20 odd minutes. I don't know the exact running time, but a reasonable running time on each of those loops. And this system was called 8-track because typically it'd record 4 stereo audio tracks on each of the loops. Great, that's for audio. But suppose there you were back in, say, the 1960s, and you wanted to have pictures or video movies at the same time. How would you come up with a solution for that? Well, I've come across a couple. Let's have a look at these. So here's our standard 8-track cart we were talking about just now. But suppose you wanted to add, say, a slideshow to it. You wouldn't just bolt some sort of film attachment to the top, would you? I mean, that would be completely nuts. Can you believe that such a thing was ever invented? So there's an 8-track cart here, and it even is marked up, you know, Learpack stereo there. So that is the moulding from a regular 8-track cartridge. But then attached to the top of this contraption is there was a loop of film. Now the film has been taken out because that was scanned by my friend Chris Squires, who I've visited before. So the film isn't in this cart anymore. But there's this mirror here, and you'd have an arrangement of shining light down there, and then it would go across through the film that was held in this gate here. And the tape recorded had a mono audio track for speech to go with the slides, and bleeps on one of the tracks, and those bleeps would tell the machine to advance the slide film. And I think it had a special bleep or special set of bleeps to tell it to do a reset where it got to the beginning, so they wouldn't get out of sync with each other. A while ago since I did this. So what I did was strip this apart and put the tape in a normal 8-track tape, and then played that in an 8-track player, and then Chris digitized the film, and it was all married together to make something like the original presentation. And this was typically used, for example, in this one, you could use them in a shop or something like that, in this case post office, where you wanted to continuously show a slide film with speech. And you know, they do similar sort of thing with computer screens today. So that was one solution. But what happens if you wanted movie film? Using the general idea of the endless loop, you could put your endless loop of film in a similar sort of cartridge. So this was called the Fairchild, it says Fairchild Industrial Products, but it's got a name on it somewhere. Fairchild Movie Pack 7010 it says, and it's got Super 8 film in it with a soundtrack, and the idea being that because the soundtrack is on the film, synchronization always remains. They did have to move, I believe, the distance between the normal soundtrack recovery and picture recovery. And the great thing about these is you can look up the patent numbers. There's a patent number, this one's got a couple of patent numbers here, and this old cart here has a patent number on this part. It says Labelle Industries, and it's got a patent number. I'll list those below. So you can look up a little bit about how these things worked. Let's take this thing apart. Now, there's a join, like there is in the 8-track version, there's a join in the film. But in this case, the join has split, which of course happened to 8-track tapes too. So the film is not taking the proper path at the moment. And it won't be, because we're going to take the film out of this and scan that separately. So you can see they've got the same sort of idea going on here. That's the end of the film, and it will have come across, it looks like it goes across in the same direction as an 8-track. So you'd have the tape peeling off the middle, I think. That's the way they work, isn't it? You feed it back onto the edge and peel it out of the middle, and or maybe it goes the other way around. It's a little hard to tell exactly how the film was originally built, but it will have gone across the front here, and in this case, rather than using mirror, it looks like they shined a light directly through these holes. One of these would be sound. I think that one would be sound, and this one picture, I believe. So it's another solution to the same problem. Can I get it back together again? Oh look, there's a bit of wire here. I think that's critical. I think that bit of wire was used in helping the film come off the pack. So probably that film threaded through that bit of wire. At least it's not terribly hard to take apart, this one. Now this, I think, would have been much more expensive to make film for this and release it for use in, say, a shop. I mean, you could do it, but if you wanted to keep updating it, you'd have to keep updating the film, and that's a much more expensive thing to do than just updating the sound and maybe a couple of slide pictures on this. So I can see the appeal of this one. It's good enough, and this is a more complex system for where you actually need movies. For something like just advertising, that one's fine. And just a quick look in this, like I say, the film's been removed, but nothing in there really, because it was only a short loop of film that was in that one. So some fascinating technology that's about the same age as I am.
Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you.
Boomer.
Oh. Well, I hope you've enjoyed having a look at these obscure audio-visual formats from the 1960s. Please remember to like, share and especially subscribe, and I'll do a lot more content on audio and video technology in the near future. Bye for now.